As we look ahead in the 6+6-day forecast, there's not a whole lot of change. 90 degrees never did.
This is the L2C Media Network, and this is the L2C Sports Final. Brought to you by the L2C Media Network. Now, with the day's look in sports and everything else sports related, here's the Baxman, Steve Baxley. Yes, thank you. But what do I do for an encore? Hey, how's it going, everybody? Steve the Baxman Baxley with you, and I welcome you to the L2C Sports Final. You may notice that we're in a new look. We're sort of trying some new things to promote the show, and get more people to watch us. So we're going to tweak a few things, the logo and the way we present things to you. So I hope you'll keep tuning in and be interested. You also got to put certain logo. Yeah. You got to put a little YouTube logo on there. So we're going to try. We're going to also try to do this on Twitch. So again, everybody will be able to watch us. So there you go. We got a lot coming up. So we hope you'll stay tuned and keep watching us as we improve. We are a work in progress, much like my hair is a work in progress. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get cracking on some sports. And without the background, but I will apologize for the background. And let's get going here. We got some news for you. Let's go to the world of baseball, and we have some We got some big noise happening in the baseball world. Let's take you to it. And the big news, the Atlanta Braves, who will not be changing their logo, but will be making it a little more, shall we say, friendlier. Well, the Braves will sign Field. I'm trying to do this. Anyway, the Atlanta Braves, who will not change their logo, but will get rid of a few little offensive things like the tomahawk chop and everything else, has announced that it will sign free agent outfielder Yasiel Puig ahead of the 60-game 2020 season, according to Mark Feinsand of MLB.com. Puig, 29, is coming off 2019 season, which he put up 24 home runs in 149 games for the Reds and the Indians. For his career, Puig owns an OPS plus of 122 with 132 home runs across parts of 7 MLB seasons, 6 of which came with the Dodgers. Puig in Atlanta figures to have a path towards regular playing time at DH. Nick Markakis had been in line to be the Braves' primary at DH, but he recently opted out of the 2020 season because of concerns about the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic as well. MLB Network's John Heyman reports that an ankle injury suffered by outfield prospect Christian Patch has also prompted the Braves to move forward with Puig. Puig is coming off his worst MLB season in 2019, but he's not far removed from a 2017 season that saw him put up a WAR of 3.4 for the Dodgers. The right-handed hitting Puig also has reverse platoon splits for his career, so he may be more than just a weapon to use against left-handed pitching. We could also see to need additional time to get game ready. Given that the season spans just 60 games, there's not a great deal of time for a ramp up. Here we go. Going, we got, and if you think baseball players are opting out, try this little bit of news. The 2020 season put on hold because of the COVID-19 pandemic begins next week, but say John Heyman of MLB Network, a total of 11 umpires have opted out of the 2020 MLB season. As he writes, some of the umpires who are opting out are said to have family members who are ill. The 2020 season is set on July 23rd, which is almost 4 months after the originally scheduled opening day of March 26th. The delay is because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Since COVID-19 can be especially dangerous to older demographics and those with pre-existing health conditions like diabetes and asthma, that multiple umpires have thought better of participating isn't particularly surprising. Like most like most MLB players, I go to sleep on 2 shows, and this is what happens. I can now not talk. Umpires with pre-existing conditions that make them more prone to COVID-related complications can opt out of the 2020 season while still being paid. And it's not clear how many of the 11 umpires meet those requirements. Now, according to the list at MLB.com, there are 91 current MLB umpires, which means roughly 12% of the MLB umpiring workforce has opted out. MLB had planned to use 19 full umpiring crews this season, which means a total of 76 umpires. If indeed just 80 umpires are participating in the 2020 season, then that's very little cushion for in-season attrition, routine or otherwise. That said, any number of minor league umpires are likely available for duty given that the minor league season for 2020 has been canceled. Veteran umpire Joe West confirmed last week that he'll be working during the 2020 season, while also saying that he didn't believe that the reported number of COVID-19 deaths were all related to the virus. The MLB Umpires Union issued a statement distancing itself from West after the comments. Boy, there are some people that love to go rogue. Gee, I wonder why. All righty, kiddies, we go more. In National Football League news, the Cleveland Browns. Oh, are they doing something good for a change? They are closing in on a 5-year deal worth $125 million with defensive end Myles Garrett, according to I've got MLB and MHL, NHL on the mind. I'm sorry. Can we do that again? Okay. The Cleveland Browns are closing in on a 5-year deal worth $125 million with defensive end Myles Garrett, according to NFL Media's Ian Rappaport. The deal includes $50 million fully guaranteed at signing and $100 million in total guarantees. Now, Rappaport adds that there are still a few small hurdles to clear before this deal becomes official. Now, based on the average annual salary, the Texas A&M product will become the highest paid defender in the National Football League. He eclipses Bears edge rusher Khalil Mack, who is earning $23.5 million annually. Garrett had 2 years remaining on his rookie contract, including a 5th-year option. He will earn roughly $19.8 million over that time period before the new deal takes effect. Garrett, the number 1 overall selection in the 2017 NFL Draft, had 29 tackles, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in 10 games last season. Despite missing 11 games, the Texas native has managed to compile 30.5 sacks and 6 forced fumbles throughout his career. His year came to a disturbing end when fans saw him swing a helmet at the head of Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph in prime time. Commissioner Roger Goodell reinstated the pass rusher in February. The Pro Bowl edge rusher was averaging a sack per game last season. Before his suspension, if he had continued at that pace, he would have been in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, which was won by Patriots cornerback Stephon Gilmore. So there you go on that. We are We are a 45-minute show as usual. We do and will maybe extend if we foul up. But there you go. And, NASCAR hasn't had any, competition. There was one thought that there was going to be a little competing organization, but that was quashed. Gee, I wonder why. Well, apparently now, we got something good. That's right. Coming up. This could be some competition for NASCAR eyeballs. And here it is. It is courtesy of CBS. Not CBS. It's going to, let me give you the story here. Ever since the end of IROC in 2006, there hasn't really been a true spec series where cars are identically prepared and top race car drivers from around the world strap themselves in to determine who is really the best. After 15 years, a similar version of that series is going to premiere next summer, and IROC's last champion is one of the people in charge. NASCAR Hall of Famers Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham are among a group that includes former NASCAR COO George Pine and the Montauk Group to partner in a new racing series called the Superstar Racing Experience, otherwise known as SRX. And CBS is set to broadcast the 6-race series on Saturday nights in summer 2021 on CBS and its streaming service, CBS All Access. Now, while the SRX series isn't meant to be a competitor to NASCAR, they are making a big splash with some of their ideas. How big? For the new series, that will differ from NASCAR. One noticeable aspect is going to be the length of the races. While some of the longer NASCAR races can take upwards of 4 or 5 hours, the SRX is going to develop to take place within a 2-hour primetime window. Races will take around 90 minutes, and while there will be no pit stops, there will be a halftime period where cars can be adjusted for the second half. Now, the cars themselves will be identically built by legendary crew chief Ray Evernham. Evernham got his start racing, helping build cars for the original IROC series, which was a 4-race series that invited top drivers from racing series all over the world to race against each other. Evernham will be in charge with making a car that isn't aero-dependent and rewards driver ability than technological advancement. SRX's plan is to have 12 drivers and 12 crew chiefs for the 6-race inaugural season. The driver-crew chief partnership will be a random pairing and it will consist of a mix of older established drivers who may not be racing full-time anymore and younger talent who race on local short tracks and are looking for their big break. Stewart, who runs the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Car Series, is set to race as offered up. Let's try that. Is set to race as well as offer up his Eldora Speedway dirt track for the SRX. Evernham revealed his wish list of top drivers to the Associated Press, which includes NASCAR's Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, Juan Pablo Montoya, and IndyCar Scott Dixon, Tony Kanaan, and Paul Tracy. Tracks on Evernham's wish list include dirt tracks like Eldora, Knoxville, Terre Haute, along with asphalt tracks like Sanford, Five Flags, and New Smyrna. According to the Sports Business Journal, CBS is not only involved as a media partner, but also partners in sponsorship, revenue, and the live gate. Per Sean McManus, the CBS Sports God, also known as chairman, for an upstart sport, it helps to have an enthusiastic TV partner, and it seems they got one in CBS. Not only does it appear that CBS wants the SRX to succeed, the SRX will help CBS fill 6 Saturday nights worth of sports content at a time of the sports schedule where content is light. If it's anything like Robbie Gordon's Stadium Super Truck Series, oh, are we in for a treat? Oh, I am so hopeful for this. We also got some sad news, and there's not a passage, but more problems for the four-letter monolith of sports. And, well, it's not exactly programming-wise. Well, as a brighter spotlight shines on systemic racism and racial inequality throughout the culture, media, CNN, for example, is undergoing increased scrutiny regarding hiring and staffing practices, both externally and internally. And racial inequality. Thank you. ESPN is currently facing a lack of black representation behind the camera and in executive positions, as Kevin Draper investigated in a feature for New York Times. According to Draper's reporting, many black employees have raised the issue in meetings and conference calls during the past month, pointing out examples of treatment and promotions at the network that have prevented advancement. Though the network has several black employees in public facing roles on television and writing for the website, it still isn't the case behind the scenes. Now, ESPN does employ 4 black executives at the senior level: Rob King, Kevin Morita, Dave Roberts, and Paul Richardson, each of whom believe they can help initiate more diversity at the ESPN campus in Bucolic, Bristol, Connecticut. And one incident that highlighted tensions in Bristol occurred during a college football conference call in which broadcaster Dave Lamont commented that black employees were venting. Believing he was on mute, Lamont made the remark to his wife, which was heard by everyone on the call. The New York Post Andrew Marchand reported that ESPN executives are considering dismissing Lamont. I hope they will. Though he admitted making a remark that offended many to management and said he apologized to everyone on the call in a statement to Marchand. It's not clear as to whether or not Lamont addressed the matter directly to anyone. Now, Maria Taylor, who was interrupted by Lamont's comment during the call, told Draper that the incident was a slap in the face that illuminated issues with culture at ESPN. Draper also spoke with former ESPN anchor Carrie Champion, who left the network in January after 7 years as an on-air host. She will soon launch a talk show on Vice TV titled Disruptors, with another black former ESPN personality, Jemele Hill. Hill also shares her experiences at the network within the New York Times piece. Champion said, quote, constant dismissals and borderline harassment, end quote, from producer Jill Fredrickson influenced her decision to leave ESPN. Sources also told Draper of a network NBA coverage meeting in which producer Amina Hussein said she advised younger black employees to leave the network if they wanted their careers to advance. Though Hussein was promoted to senior coordinating producer this month, Hill is among those who believe that someone who's produced shows like Sunday NFL Countdown and NBA Countdown would have been promoted much higher by now if she was white. The Times article delves into plenty more of the discussions ongoing at ESPN, including employees who say they were told indirectly to tone down or skip discussing race and sports on the air. Jimmy Pitaro, the president of ESPN, has pledged to make changes, including improved interviewing and hiring practices, developing more diverse leadership, and making sure all voices were included in meetings and decision-making at the network. Yet until more changes are apparent, ESPN employees like Taylor, Ellie Duncan, and Michael Eaves will continually meet with top executives about adding more people of color behind the scenes. Pitaro says he will ultimately be held accountable if improvements aren't made during his tenure. Wow. Incredible. It's 11:31 right now, by the way. Thanks. Awful announcing for that story. We've been on the air for 19 minutes, 38 seconds. More little news as we go from broadcasting to online. And the madness continues of sadness. Back in April, Vox Media announced 3-month furloughs from May 1st to July 31st, for 9% of their workforce, with CEO Jim Bankoff saying those furloughs will be particularly concentrated in revenue areas where short-term demand will be lower. But while some of those areas fit that description, in particular, it's hard to run an events business in an era of COVID-19 restrictions. There are always questions about how that applied to sports. SB Nation and Banner Society were particularly hard hit by those furloughs. There's been plenty of interest in sports content, even without live games over the past few months. Those furloughs led to many of Vox Media's sports staff taking buyouts and leaving permanently, but it now looks like even the ones that hadn't taken that path may soon be gone for good. Okay. Alex Sherman of NBC News reported Tuesday that Vox isn't actually going to bring many of those furloughed staffers back after July 31st. Instead, they're choosing to include them in a new round of layoffs, and that's particularly interesting on the sports side, where the short-term demand will be lower. Excuse no longer applies, thanks to many sports leagues starting up or planning to start up soon. From Sherman's piece, we quote, Vox Sports spoke with union leaders Monday to inform them of their plan to cut staff, said the people who asked not to be named because the discussions are private. Vox furloughed about 100 employees in April, or 9% of its staff, until July 31st as COVID-19 affected advertising budgets. Many of the furloughed workers who haven't already taken buyouts will be laid off, according to a person familiar with the matter. These employees primarily work for parts of Vox that were especially hit hard by the pandemic, such as SB Nation, Curbed, and the company's events group. Maybe some additional job cuts, the person said. Both the Writers Guild of American East, which represents about 350 of Vox's 1,200 employees, and News Guild of New York, which represents New York Magazine employees, are meeting with executives this week. Two of the people said that Vox hopes to resolve those discussions by Friday. Now, of course, like many media brands, Vox is facing revenue struggles. Sherman notes that Vox was 40% off their projected forecast for a second quarter, and that even their year-end projections are down 25% at this point. And they're not the only media company announcing cuts. Recent layoffs have been announced at Intercom, which recently bought the CBS radio network, including the licensing rights to CBS Sports Radio, which expire at the end of this year. They've also affected newspapers and more. And yes, Vox didn't make any promise that furloughed employees' jobs will still be there in August, which is a big part of why so many of their staffers already took the buyouts, and why we've seen the exits of prominent figures like Spencer Hall and the end of prominent podcasts like the Shutdown Fullcast. But it's still remarkable to see a company that had been prominent in the sports space so completely destroying its national presence there. And perhaps particularly interesting, considering Bankoff's own past in the sports space. Back in his time as an AOL executive, Bankoff was widely cited as the one key figure in the creation of AOL's Fan House. That site is still remembered as one of the original great sports blogging sites, and it was an early outlet for many prominent writers, including Hall. In an interview for the February 16th oral history of that site, Bancroft said things like, I think it took a little bit of time, but it was never about being at least first. Big thing in this world was it was really more about getting the right people and the right voice and kind of building up from the ground. Also in that 2016 piece, Hall at the time, the editorial director of SB Nation, said the site had learned from Fan House's mistakes, which include parting ways with capable people in service of chasing big-name columnists. Vox's decision to go forward with next to no national sports presence is certainly a choice, especially at a time when many North American sports leagues are resuming play. They've made it even more clear with these latest moves they don't prioritize sports, as they can't even use Bankoff's areas where short-term demand will be a lower line now because thanks to the leagues again playing games, and it'll be interesting to see what's ahead for SB Nation and Banner Society after these latest layoffs. There are still people at those sites, those that weren't furloughed in the first place. There will still certainly be some good pieces there. These latest layoffs seem set to further devastate already hurting sites, and it's definitely noble. See Vox again, focused on cutting sports. And again, another story from our friends over at all of them. We got more sports. We want to tell you before we do anything that Nick Rekieta, does he have something for us tonight? Yes, he does. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it lamentable? Now, if you watch last night's Lost Playing the Interwebs with Nick Rekieta, he was talking about the latest filings from Monica Rial and Ron Doye. Tonight, does he have something for us? Does he have something against us? Does he have something immense for us? I don't know, really. I really don't know. This is strange. It is, isn't it? Yes. Let's see. Let's tally forth and see if there is going to be a stream tonight. If not, we will understand. But if you do want to watch Nick Rekieta, Lost Blaming the Interwebs, go to Rekieta Law on YouTube, midnight Eastern time, for interesting discussions on law, the internet, and a whole lot of fun in between. And we're going to see if we can't see if there's if he's got a good show tonight, or if he's got a show tonight. Let's find out if he's got a good show tonight, or if he's going to be taking it easy and going on his Twitch channel. We're looking. So give us this moment our daily bread. Or give us something here. Okay, well, something's up tonight. We'll find out if he is going to have a show tonight. Wow. So tune in tonight, YouTube, for Rekieta Law, Lost Planning the Old Interwebs tonight on the show, if he's going to be actually on the air tonight. We got no idea, so whoa. Okay, so Nick Rekieta tonight, maybe. Stay tuned. All right, let's keep going. The NBA back in action. Turner will be debuting a new storytelling series in advance of the NBA restart league and current events called The Arena, in conjunction with Bleacher Report, which is owned by Turner Sports. The show premieres Monday, July 20th at 8 Eastern on TNT and continues through the seeding games and the playoffs. It'll be based at Turner's Atlanta studios from a custom set starring Kari Champion, Charles Barkley, Dwayne Wade, and Golden State Warriors All-Star Draymond Green. The first week of the show will have daily episodes with the panel leading important social conversations about COVID-19 pandemic, Black Lives Matter, systemic racial issues, and the changing social landscape. Per press release, confirmed guests on the show include former ESPN journalist and anchor Jamel Hill and rapper Killer Mike. After the premiere week, episodes take place periodically based on current events per the Turner press release. So good luck and Godspeed to all involved. There we go. Fox Sports 1 has announced 37 MLB game schedule, including games on Monday and Wednesday evenings. And on Tuesday, it was announced. Notably, there isn't really a set date each week either, where FS1 will have games. It's a hodgepodge, including ESPN's traditional Monday and Wednesday night windows, thanks to NBA coverage. We got no idea what this means for ESPN's weeknight MLB coverage in 2020. Aside from that, it seems like it'll be less of it on a weekly basis. Last week, ESPN and Fox released their national television schedule, which includes ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball and Fox broadcast games on a variety of Thursdays and Saturdays. The full schedule, here we go. In case some of those start times look weird, weeknights 6 p.m. starts, for example, those are within minutes of the actual start times. This isn't an MLS situation where the game window starts when the full pregame show starts. These games are typically not exclusives and will also air locally. Saturday, July 25th, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks at San Diego Padres at 9 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, July 28th, double dip. Yankees and Phils at 6 p.m., followed by the Dodgers and the Astros at 9 p.m. Thursday, July 30th, it's the Padres at the San Francisco Giants at 9:30. Now, Saturday, August 1st, it'll be Cincinnati at Detroit at 6 p.m. Monday, August 3rd, the Mets at Atlanta, 7 p.m. Friday, August 7th, the California Angels at the Texas Rangers at 9 p.m. Saturday, August 8th, Tigers at the Pirates at 4 p.m. Monday, August 10th, the Braves at the Phils at 6. Cubs and Indians at 7 on the 11th of August. 12th of August, there'll be the Minnesota Twins, Milwaukee Brewers, 7 p.m. Friday, August 14th, 6:30, Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays. And the rest of the events, rest of the games that are announced, you can check them all on, obviously, MLB.com. Okay, let's keep going on the sports roundup. That's what Saudi Arabia has banned beIN Sports permanently, which could bring up further issues with a planned Newcastle United takeover. Oh boy. For the past 3 years, people in Saudi Arabia haven't been able to legally watch England's Premier League thanks to a government-issued temporary ban on the Qatar-based broadcaster beIN Sports, which has Premier League rights for the whole Middle East through 2022. That's part of a larger conflict between Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and furthered the activity of pirate broadcaster Q, which World Trade Organization recently ruled was supported by the Saudi government. Meanwhile, amidst a bid from the Saudi government's public investment fund to buy Premiership side Newcastle United, which is opposed by beIN Sports, the Saudi government recently claimed they've seen no evidence of pirate broadcasts, and complaints haven't been sent to the correct email address. And now, guess what happened? The Saudis made their beIN Sports ban permanent. That's right. And writer for The Guardian, Louise Taylor, had a nice article on it. We say briefly. Analysts from all sides initially struggled to comprehend why the government in Riyadh had formally canceled beIN's already suspended broadcast license at precisely the moment when Saudi Arabia's public investment fund seemed on the verge of being handed the keys to St. James Park. On Tuesday night, though, it emerged that the Saudi government edict related to an old legal case dating back to 2016 in both PIF and their consortium partners were completely unaware it would be issued. Although it came as a shock and the timing is regarded as unfortunate, sources maintained it should not affect the Newcastle deal. Indeed, facilitated partly by discreet intervention from the UK government, which is understood to be in favor of Newcastle's Saudi-led takeover, a diplomatic compromise in the Saudi-Qatari broadcast war seemed about to be brokered. Instead came the surprise announcement from the Saudi General Authority for Competition stating that beIN Sports' license to broadcast was canceled permanently and Qatar was fined 10 million Saudi riyals, or 2.1 million pounds English. Assorted sources were left puzzled at the timing, particularly after Saudi Arabia had issued a raft of new laws outlawing pirate transmissions of the Doha broadcaster's Premier League output. Now, what were the reasons for canceling that license? Well, an article in Saudi Arabia-based The Arab News said the GAC cited several anti-competitive moves from beIN Sports. Ooh. The moves follow public complaints and GAC investigations that found beIN Sports had abused its dominant position in the run-up to the exclusive sports broadcast bundle of the European Football Championship in 2016 through several monopolistic practices. These included forcing football fans wishing to subscribe to beIN Sports in order to watch a tournament to subscribe to other channels, including non-sports ones, forcing subscribers to renew their subscription to the main channels for an entire year as a condition to watch the championship, even though their subscription was still valid and was supposed to cover the period during which the competition was held, and including the fees for championships and sports and the subscription fee, even though viewers might not want to watch the matches. The practices constitute a clear violation of the competition statute and impending regulations, the GAC said. Now, many of the practices are common throughout the sports broadcasting world, particularly bundling and sports year subscription fees for all customers. Now, forcing the year-long renewal, even with an already valid subscription, is a little more unusual and questionable, but that also doesn't seem like enough to ban a channel for 3 years temporarily, then ban it permanently. And this move continues the state of affairs where there is no legal way to watch Premier League games in Saudi Arabia. Taylor's piece indicates that they may not stop the Saudi takeover of Newcastle, but certainly more ammunition for critics of that move, and it's certainly odd to see a government investment fund buy a controlling stake in a club whose matches can't be legally shown in that fund's country. Naughty, naughty. Really naughty, naughty. Okay, let's hit up the old scoreboard before we call it a night and I get a tonguectomy. Man, I cannot literally talk tonight. Let's see. WHITTLE. Yeah, but I've been making little errors tonight. Maybe I need. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Okay, try me. Okay, I'm not gonna wait. So there, huh? Okay, we'll just get. There we are. We talk. All right, let's get to some good old soccer news. Some good old basketball, baseball, maybe a little hockey if we got chance and time. So let's roll it, Beethoven. So here we go to soccer. And speaking of the Premier League, Chelsea defeated Norwich 1-0. In Italy's Series A, Atalanta 6, Russia 2. Poland, the Ekstraklasa regulation group, had Gornik over Arka Gdynia 2-1. LKS Lodz over Rakow 3-2. Wisla Plock over Korona Kiez 3-1. Zaglabi over Wisla 3-1. In the club friendly around the world, we're going to do a little snappy pick here. Club Lyon defeated Rez 4-0. Pachuca defeated Athletic San Luis 1-0. Kickers Luzerne over Zug 2-1. Troll over Mills 6-4. SV Kumberg over SC St. Ruprecht Rab 3-2. Vokla Market over Weiskirchen 2-1. Strasbourg and Berliner tied at 0. Schlagerbach over Munder Milch 3-0. Eisler over Stegenbach 4-1. The same score. Heiligenkreuz over Kalsdorf 4-1. Allerhelgen beat up on USC Eikogel 9-0. For more fun-loving stuff from the World Friendly, go to scoreboard.com/en/en. In baseball in Japan, the NPB, the Yokohama Bay Stars over the Chunichi Dragons 5-3, 5-10-1 for the Bay Stars, 3-5-1 for the Dragons. Yamamoto for the Dragons takes a loss. He's 1-2. Onuki gets the win for the Bay Stars. He's 1-2. Hanshin Tigers beat up the Yakut Swallows 6-3, 6-12-0 for Tigers, 3-5-0 for the Swallows. Akiyama for the Tigers gets the win. He split it 1-1. Ishikawa gets the loss for the Swallows. He's 0-2. The Omuri Giants over the Hiroshima Carp 7-2, 7-10-0 for the Giants, 2-10-2 for the Carp. Curry for the Carp gets a loss. He split them 1-1. Sugano from the Giants still undefeated. He's 3-0. The Chibalati Marins over the Nippon Ham Fighters 5-2, 5-8-0 for the Marins, 2-6-2 for the Ham Fighters. Uwasawa for the Ham Fighters gets his first loss. He's 0-1. And Mima gets the big win for the Marins. He's 2-1. The Fukuoka Silverhawks spanked the Oryx Buffaloes 10-3, 10-17-0 for the Hawks, 3-6-1 for the Buffaloes. Albers for the Buffaloes gets a loss. He's 1-2. Senga for the Silverhawks gets the win. He's 2-0. The Cebu Lions Bracketon Golden Eagles game was postponed, if not canceled. South Korea, the Korea Baseball Organization, SK Wyverns, spanked the Doosan Bears 12-7, 12-14-0 for the Wyverns, 7-12-2 for the Bears. The Kiwoon Heroes defeated the NC Dinos 5-1, 5-10-1 for the Heroes, 1-3-0 for the Dinos. KT Wiz Suwon defeated the Hanwha Eagles 7-2, 7-10-0 for the Suwon, 2-8-2 for the Eagles. Lottie Giants over the LG Twins 5-0 and 5-10-0 for the Giants, 0-2-1 for the Twins. Samsung Lions beat up on the Kia Tigers with an 8-hitter, 5-0 final score. Lions 5-9-0, Tigers 0-8-0. The CPBL Taiwan first stage, Rakuten Monkeys over the Fubon Guardians 5-1, 5-11-2. For the Monkeys, 1-4-0 for the Guardians. And the China Trust Brothers spanked the Uni Lions 6-1, 6-9-2 for the Brothers, 1-5-0 for the Uni Lions. We got hockey, do we? Do we have hockey? Yes, we do. If you want to check hockey, we'll only give you just some of the scores that we have for you tonight because and we'll give you just some of the scores. For a full complete score, go to scoreboard.com/en/hockey. And we'll just give you a few games. These are mainly in Russia, so we'll just give you pretty much a broad victory here. In the Liga Pro short hockey, the Sinai Tigre defeated the Centroiva Kulturology 4-3. Sinai Tigre over the Moscovy Kremlevsky 5-4. The Moscovy Kremlevsky over the Sinai Tigre 6-3. Shies Trolley over Ice Banda 2-1. And if you want the other scores again, go to scoreboard.com/en/hockey. Man, I am not with it today, but at least I am up. Okay, it is time now to give our hellos. That's right. Time to say hi as we say goodbye. We say goodbye, you say hello as it goes and as it comes. And night. But what the heck? It makes explainable. So go. The real deal, Linda Steele. How you doing? Sammy Phillips, Casey Ann, Monica Cram, Gary Cram. How you doing? January J. Keaton and her little diamond doll, Dixie. How you doing? We have more to say. Yeah, we do. Strange enough, we do. There's about a couple of momentations here. I know we're trying desperately to finish this off on a high note. Twitter, we say hello to Kellyanne Collins, Stacey Hayes, Lena Nguyen. We also say hi to Ricky Pickrell, to Yvonne Pickrell, Mike Pickrell, Tony Pickrell, Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson, Jay the Brain Man, Yuki Tanaka, and Anne Marie Man. We say hello to Roberto Oberhoff as well. We say hello to Itan G, the Jewish rapper. How you doing? Hello to my mom, who owns this lovely little facility. Sharon Baxley, my cat Uno, my uncle Michael Gaminsky, his daughter Brenda Gaminsky, her son Stephen Michael. To my Aunt Pat, to my relatives up north, hello. To Claudia Treos, to Audrey Dahlgren, Alex Sims, and the incredible Mr. Nick Mantis, and all my friends at TV6. To Dominique Keith, Tom Ziska, Dr. Jim, Melissa Wilson over at Fox 26. Howdy! And if that's not enough, which it isn't, the Redskins now amongst the departed. George Templeton, Marley Wiley, Jeff Rollo, Dale Sankey, Nellie King, all my friends from the old days of thebasement.com.au, and a few other sites, including the AFL sites. It was fun to watch some AFL games with the people. That's right. I call them the people. Wendy Russo, hi. To Kimberly Wells, hello. To Michael Pickrell, and everybody in the family. To Alicia Smith, we have, I think, yeah. To Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, and Nancy Nichols. To the fine group of people involved in the merriest of all action. To Rebecca Symbolic, to Amy Hayes, Frida Hayes, S. Hayes. To my cousin Betty, how you doing? Bruce, Crystal, and the little grandson there as well. Okay, whom else do we give a rapturous hello to? I wish we had the board here to do that, but unfortunately, there we go. There it is. Chris Lewis, Chris French. How y'all doing? Who else? Let's see. Who else? Let's see. Dang. I don't know anyone else. Hello. Okay, so it will actually work. We're trying. We're glad you're surviving with us. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This has been a presentation of Mr. Fine Creativity Productions in association with the X-Man Backslate. Finally said the name right. My connection may be unstable. My mouth is truly unstable. We'll try and get everything working tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And America, good night. Whomever and wherever you may be, we'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully better prepared than tonight. And speaking somewhat convoluted English. We'll see you tomorrow night. 11:10 Eastern. Bye, everybody. It's been that kind of a night, folks. Trust me. And I'm ending the stream. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.